we were just talking about this off air, and so hopefully, Cole, this isn't your wild card for today. Cole has the wild card later, and so hopefully I'm not stealing that. But Tom and I were just talking off air about the report that came out that TV ratings could be factored in. Is that your wild card? If so, I'll just shut up and we'll move on.
No, it's okay. I got a second one, so we'll just do it. I got two this week. So we're good. No, we're good. We're good. I see. I come with like multiple plans in my head.
Smart. Because you never know what the intro may bring. All right, so two takes on this. We'll talk about this real quick and then we'll move on. TV ratings being part of the college football playoff, determining factor. I have two thoughts. I did a solo video on this earlier in the week, so this is not like I've already shared these thoughts, but I just want to get you guys' take on both of them. One, I think it's a situation like when rules are proposed where they just put like a preposterous rule in there so that people freak out about it, but then accept everything else because they think like, oh, it's not that bad. At least it's not as bad as the whole TV ratings thing. So that's thought one on the whole. Playoff could be determined by the ratings. Thought two is they are literally already doing this. They do seedings, they do rankings based on matchups, based on teams that they think like they're not going to seed two Big Ten teams in a possible matchup, right? Like they're always going to try and avoid that if they can, even if they think that an Alabama should be 7 and Penn State should be 8. They're going to swap them just to avoid a certain matchup, in my opinion. I, don't want to bring up 2023, but I think TV ratings played a factor in why they made certain decisions with that play. So anyway, I think that's already happening, but I think that they just kind of said it out loud so that you would accept whatever else they put forward when the new playoff stuff comes out, maybe this week, maybe soon.
What I'm going to be interested to see is how many teams we expand to finally. Now, we know 14 is the proposed number moving forward. Then it's probably going to get to 16. Is 16 the limit? Because then what you're going to ask yourself is, well, if we're going to get teams based off of ratings, okay, well, the SEC and the Big Ten are going to get the most representation. That's just a given. But what does that mean for the other two conferences, the Big 12 and the ACC? Because the ACC, there's games that are on the CW network. Does that factor in when deciding on, are we going to get the 16 best teams or the teams that are going to bring in the most eyeballs? And no offense, TJ, they were always going to put Alabama in over Florida State because of the performance that we saw in Charlotte. Whether or not I agree that's fair, that's just kind of the case because it is a marketing ploy. That'll be something that I'll be really interested in moving forward. Do ratings have such a big impact on, do we let 3 Big 12 teams in? Do we let 2 ACC teams in? Or are these also still going to be one branded conference? And SEC Big 10, have your way en route to another national title.
I'll tell you what, all of a sudden, Kentucky's got a real chance.
Yeah.
For some reason, they were in the top 10 in terms of viewership last year.
Did you know that Minnesota has a real shot this year for the first time? That Rutgers could actually make some noise out in Piscataway?
Dion? I mean, Colorado's going to
9-3 Colorado over an 11-2 SEC.
We'll retire the entire team's uniforms, and we'll just move to letters in 2020.
It's so funny to me, TJ, because it's saying the quiet part out loud. Like you and I were talking about this before we came on. I was stunned that SMU got in over Alabama because I was like, yeah, Alabama's got the bigger TV ratings, so like you're going to say screw SMU in the second ACC team. It means that the group of 5, the Boise States of the world, are absolutely screwed if that were to happen. But again, I think this is kind of like something you were saying is that they just slide this in there. It's kind of like Congress putting in a bill of like, oh, we're going to save all this money and then we're going to try and boost the military, but then I'm going to slide in this thing. We're going to tax crayons for children or something like that. You're like, what the hell? And that makes the headline and it never passes. So this might never actually come to fruition. I'm just waiting for college football and the playoff to get to the NFL model because you don't see this with the NFL model. They don't do it by TV ratings. They do it by wins and losses, how you did within your division, within your conference, that sort of stuff. So why aren't we doing the same thing with the Big Ten, the SEC, the ACC, the Big 12, and making it kind of like the AFC East, the NFC North, that sort of thing? Like we might as well just do that at some point. But again, the NCAA sucks. We don't have a governing body that controls everything. And here we are.
We don't do it because college football is awesome and we don't want it to be like the NFL. But unfortunately, the people who are in charge of making these decisions want it to be like the NFL. So congratulations, NCAA, on ruining a sport that we all fell in love with on Saturday to turn it into a Sunday model.
Yeah, I have been so against the NFLization of college football, but at this point, I think it's almost needed. at this point, because right now we're in this weird limbo spot, right? 10, 15 years ago, the way that college football worked was fine with everyone. No one asked for any major changes, right? Like, oh, we've got this perfect thing. Let's screw it up. So now, because we're in this weird limbo phase, I almost think that, yeah, we just need to get to 2030, get to a super league, have the Big Ten AFC, SEC, NFC, grab the good teams, the marketable teams from the Big 12 and the ACC, and throw them all together and just make this a better product than we have right now. Because this in the limbo crap where we change the playoff every 2 or 3 years, where we propose TV ratings as a viable option. Let's use recruiting ranking. Let's not even, why even play the game? Just start the playoff. Just start a 128 team playoff in September and go all the way through. Let's just seed them based on recruiting rankings and go from there. So, I think I've always been against the NFLization. I almost think it's necessary at this point. Like, just make them employees, bring in a super league, and we'll still cheer for the colors. We'll still cheer for the passion. Tailgating will still be the same, all those things, but just get us a little closer there so that it can kind of fix what we broke. And so, I don't know, maybe that's a hot take. Maybe it's not, but I think it's what will help in the future.
Hey, thanks for watching The Power 2. If you like this type of content, make sure you hit subscribe and check out some of our other videos found here on the channel. Bye.